China is shocked. Several islands in the Philippines become the largest U.S. military base near SCS. Is the Philippines becoming the largest U.S. military base near the South China Sea? China is shocked as the Philippines grants the United States access to 4 new military bases, including one on Palawan Island that overlooks the South China Sea. But it's the new facilities in Cagayan province that are causing concern. With tensions already high between the US and China, could this decision make the province a target? Stay tuned to find out how this move could affect the region's security and what it means for the Philippines' relationship with its neighbors. China has communicated shock and worry over the new choice by the Philippines to give the US admittance to a few new army installations, remembering one for Palawan Island that disregards the South China Ocean. The move has been seen as a significant escalation in the ongoing territorial dispute between China and its neighbors in the region. China views the presence of U.S. military facilities in the Philippines as a direct threat to its sovereignty and territorial claims, particularly in the contested waters of the South China Sea. With tensions already high between the United States and China, this latest development is likely to further strain relations and increase the risk of conflict in the region. The Philippine province of Cagayan, which is found on the far northeastern tip of the island of Luzon and is around 635 kilometers away from the capital city of Manila, is going to be the site of a large building project that will cost several millions of dollars. On the other hand, Governor Manuel Mamba does not support the proposal. On Tuesday, he voiced his concern with the decision to allow the United States military to establish facilities within the Cagayan North International Airport and the Camilo Asia's naval base in his province. Both of these locations are within his jurisdiction. He is of the opinion that this choice will not serve the people of his province and the province as a whole in the greatest possible way. Under the terms of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, the Philippines agreed earlier this week to provide the United States with access to 4 new military bases in addition to the 5 bases that were already in place. This agreement grants the United States permission to rotate soldiers and pre-positioned defense material, equipment, and supplies in agreed-upon places within the Philippines. Additionally, the United States will be able to supply the Philippines with supplies. One of the new facilities will be located on Palawan Island, which overlooks the South China Sea, and the other 3 will be located in northern Luzon, approximately 400 kilometers from Taiwan. The presence of EDCA forces in Cagayan, as indicated by Governor Mamba on March 23rd, would make the province of Cagayan the principal target of China in the event that the confrontation between the United States and China over Taiwan were to intensify. In spite of this, he eventually admitted that his viewpoint was among the minority. Governor Mamba is opposed to the decision to provide permission to the United States military to construct facilities in his province. He is concerned that this could put the residents of Cagayan and the province in danger. In the meantime, the Philippines has granted the United States access to additional military bases under the EDCA, including 3 in northern Luzon. This might make Cagayan a target if tensions between the United States and China grow, as Cagayan is located in close proximity to northern Luzon. Over 80% of respondents in a poll that was carried out in the Philippines in January 2022 by a private polling firm called Pulsa Asia indicated that they supported more security cooperation between Manila and Washington. On Monday, Chinese security experts highlighted that the conflict between mainland China and Taiwan was a local affair and had nothing to do with the dispute over the South China Sea that is currently being fought out between China and the Philippines. According to Dr. Hu Bo, the director of the South China Sea Strategic Situation Probing Initiative in Beijing, the presence of EDCA facilities in Cagayan meant that the United States may use Philippine sites to intervene in the Taiwan Strait crisis or strike China's mainland as well as China's warships and aircraft. He made the statement in response to a question about whether the United States could use Philippine sites to attack China. On the other hand, the opinions of certain other defense and security analysts were contrary to this allegation. On Tuesday, Rear Admiral Rommel Jude Ong, who has since retired from the military, stated that the 2 additional EDCA sites in Cagayan were necessary for the defense of the Philippines. According to him, the Navy facility and airport that are going to be refurbished as part of EDCA will be able to provide assistance for naval and air operations in regions that include the Luzon Strait and the Benham Rise. Ong expressed his thankfulness for the acknowledgement of the dormant volcanic ridge in the Philippine Sea, which was legally accepted by the United Nations Commission on the Limits of a Continental Shelf in 2012 as being a part of the Philippines over which it has sovereign powers. Ong's comments came after the United Nations Commission on the Limits of a Continental Shelf issued its report on the boundaries of the Philippine continental shelf. The Luzon Strait is a very strategic canal that that connects the South China Sea to the Philippine Sea and spans over 320 kilometers between the islands of Luzon and Taiwan. It is considered to be an extremely important waterway because it joins the two seas. According to Ong, the Chinese military has already stationed warships in the area surrounding the strait in an effort to deter other marine boats, and in the case of a clash, they will most likely try to take authority over the channel. He also added that China's goal was to destroy the Philippine-US alliance, as they are well aware that the Philippines has a treaty with the United States, and neutrality is not a realistic option for the Philippines. He stated that this was China's goal. According to Ong, China views the Philippine archipelago as being strategically significant and is looking at specific locations that are essential to its maritime interests. Some of these areas include the western coastline of northern Luzon and Palawan, Subic Bay, and parts of Cagayan province. He is under the impression that China expects the Philippines to either openly help them in the pursuit of their maritime goals from the South China Sea to the Pacific Ocean, or remain mute about these objectives. The Philippines are, unfortunately, located smack dab in the center of China's expansion plans, and China is understandably nervous about the prospect of Philippine independence. Ong also makes the observation that the current administration in China is not interested in sustaining the status quo that existed under the previous administration. They would rather try to manipulate the issue to their own benefit by appeasing the parties involved in exchange for concessions and acquiescing to the forceful steps that they are doing in the West Philippine Sea. In addition, Max Montero, a former officer in the Philippine Navy, is of the opinion that the possibility of a crisis in Taiwan is one of the key reasons for situating free EDCA facilities in the northern region. Montero is of the opinion that this is one of the primary reasons for the positioning of these facilities in the northern region. The United States of America and its allies, which include Australia and Japan, have been raising the alarm about the likelihood that China could invade Taiwan as early as the year 2027. Other allies of the United States of America include Japan and Australia, because they will facilitate the easier movement of supplies and personnel across land, air, and water. The locations in Cagayan that will be rehabilitated as part of the EDCA will be beneficial to both the Philippines and the United States. Montero also notes the fact that the places are considered to be choke points for Manila and Washington in order to control the flow of ships and planes belonging to China to the Pacific Ocean. This information is included in the paragraph. The United States of America and the Philippines will both benefit from the upgrades that are being made to the EDCA in Cagayan. On the other hand, this will also serve as an important position to regulate access to the Pacific Ocean. Nevertheless, it is of the utmost significance to take into consideration China's objectives and how those objectives can have an effect on the region's peace and security. It is essential for the Philippines to continue its vigilance and actively defend its autonomy if the country is to ensure that its interests are protected, since this will allow the Philippines to ensure that its interests are secured. As we conclude our discussion on the Philippines granting the United States access to new military bases in Cagayan province, it's clear that this decision could have significant implications for the security of the region. While some experts see it as a necessary step in defending the Philippine sovereignty, others warn that it could make the province a target in the event of a conflict. As tensions continue to simmer in the South China Sea, it remains to be seen how this situation will unfold. Stay tuned for further updates and analysis on this important issue. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.